Hello, friends. Chris and Eli with you. Now, you might be wondering why, if this channel's about discipleship and bold discipleship and leadership, why I'm making a video about travel. Well, if you think back about 3 years, I lived in a local government area in Western Sydney that was completely locked down. A lot of you will probably remember this from the time of the lockdowns. We couldn't travel more than 12 kilometers outside of our local area, outside of our home. And if you also think about the fact that so many of us who are disciples of Jesus go to retreats or conferences or World Youth Day pilgrimages or something like that and encounter God in a new way and build ties, spiritual, strong ties that help us in our walk in faith through the places that we travel to. That's the reason why we're talking about transformational travel today. I really hope you enjoy the episode. God bless you all. So welcome everybody to Lionhearted. I've got Aaron Byerlee here with me today. Welcome to the podcast, Aaron. How are you?
Good to be here, mate. Very good. Thanks, Chris. I'm looking forward to the chat.
Fantastic. Hey, so Aaron's probably my most prestigious guest yet on the podcast after only having a couple. But really happy that you've made the time to talk to us today, Aaron, because I think a lot of people who have begun following me, and there's not that many of them yet, but I'm hoping that audience grows. But we have a very similar mindset in terms of freedom. A lot of us have fought for freedom for the sake of our families and for the sake of our businesses over the last 3 years or so. And I think today, going into the topic of transformational travel, we want to talk about ways that we can actually positively exercise that freedom. So thank you for making the time. And I thought maybe you could just take a second to introduce yourself, a bit about your background in business and as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, awesome, Chris. Yeah, freedom is the new rich, right? So, and particularly as you get older and wiser, you realize that the material things aren't that important, and we chase money because it pays the bills. But at the end of the day, it's how you do that and leverage that, and it's about having the choices and having a strong family environment. And so, yeah, look, I was one of those guys that just kind of cruised through school, was more interested in footy and those sorts of things and really what my grades were. But, averaged my Bs and got through, and didn't really know what I was going to do at the end of school. Luckily enough, I was able to play footy, and they found me job and work and pay and accommodation. I kind of hang around the footy club playing footy for about the next 7 years, which was great fun. But during that time, like pretty early on, probably I would say within the 2 to 3 years after leaving school, I was actually doing some football promotional clinics at a country school, and one of the teachers pulled me aside and said, "Hey, you interested in making extra money?" And I said, "Yeah, where did you sign me up?" Like, it didn't take much. So I always had that. Looking back now, I always had that entrepreneurial blood running through my veins. Even as a young kid, I used to sell my Christmas presents, birthday presents back to my brothers and sisters for $1 and $2. I used to set up this little shop. I remember the little frog cash machine that I had, and they'd put the dollar in and the frog would swallow it, and I loved it. And so I think I was born entrepreneurial, but never really had any direction on how to go about that. No real mentorship or anything. And so this book that got given to me, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, it was like, oh man, I've finished school. I'm not exactly looking to read more fictional books, but realizing that there's all these non-fiction books out there that can help someone with personal development and business and get started. So I devoured that book like in one night, and it was like a whole electricity force just went through me of like, this is the life that I'm going to lead. I'm going to be a business owner. I'm going to be my own boss. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. And the rest was kind of history. I got into fitness clubs first. So I owned a gym in Adelaide. I owned a couple of gyms in Sydney. I got online in about 1998, 1999, back when you plugged the cord into the wall and you heard that dial-up noise. And I just dabbled around with that. And so it wasn't until probably really 2009, 2010 that I really started to make an impact online, got into social media. And then by 2013, that was my full-time gig. I'd sold up all my other businesses and and I was full-time online. And yeah, now that's been working from home, was just in time for when I had kids. I had my first kid in 2014. So yeah, I was able to be at home. And that was a big motivator for me. You know, my dad was a busy dad, but also I started to crunch the numbers with my friends that had kids and going, okay, I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning here to go to the gym to work. Your kids are getting up at what, 6 or 7, so I'd miss them in the mornings, and I'm getting home at 9 o'clock at night, and your kids are in bed, 7 o'clock. So I'm thinking that is not how, what am I going to see my kids on a Saturday and a Sunday afternoon? So that was a big motivator for me to work from home, have a global business, but raise the kids as well, mum and dad. So that's where I still am today. We're here, we're online, and got some great products that we take to the world.
Yeah, fantastic. And so I met you when I got involved in IX Global. And for those who are following me on Instagram or Facebook, you'll know a little bit about that. For me, it's only really been this year that I've tried to start building some entrepreneurial muscle, I guess. And that just became because of the pressure of bills becoming more expensive. I was coming more from a background of, though I was raised in an entrepreneurial household, my dad, and you know my dad, Aaron, that he's very entrepreneurial himself. And I did sort of, I suppose, just imbibe the values of, you should be able to manage your time according to your schedule and your work according to your schedule, so that when you begin to work harder, you can start to see some more value. And when that incentive isn't really there in the 9-to-5 jobs that I've been working, I kind of before just left my financial well-being in God's hands, but I think I was doing it in too much of a passive way. Like, I think what I realized this year is that God actually wanted me to be more active in partnering him to create value for my family and for other people and for the common good. And so I bumped into, obviously, our mutual friend Rick, who I'd like to also have on this show, at an entrepreneurs expo in Armidale, where I live. And he introduced me to this cryptocurrency blockchain product called the Debt Box. And through him, I was introduced to you, Aaron. So do you want to talk a bit about, I suppose, I think the thing that I've been struck by is, there was this SEC case that the Debt Box has been through, and things are looking very positive actually for them right now. But I've been really impressed with how IX Global, in their relation to the Debt Box, and then becoming resilient and bouncing back and building up their own reputation again, I suppose. Just the resilience, the leadership from Joe, the CEO, really, I guess, over time, over a few weeks and months, convinced me that I want to keep side hustling with IX Global. But talk to me a bit about your experience with IX, Aaron, and why you've stuck with them.
Yeah, I had a lady yesterday that came on board to the business, and she said she wished she joined a year ago. She was looking at it, she was building another business, and she actually said, I wish the CEO of our other companies were more like Joe. We've been watching IX. We love the way he responded. We love the new products they brought to the table. And we want to be part of 2.0. And to me, she had such a great mindset towards it. Other people might get scared off by that. But and that's why I loved IX from the get-go. And why I'm here today is the culture and the integrity that they build. Now, not every CEO gets it right all of the time. In fact, it's probably an impossibility. But if you're coming to it from the right angle in terms of, hey, I'm trying to do what's best for the field, I'm doing it with integrity, I'm making the best decisions, then I'm going to back that horse all the way home. And so I've been really happy with how they've responded, bringing verticals and products like Dream Trips to the platform, the Ronin card, and that, which we can probably talk a little bit about. But it wouldn't have been easy for Joe either. I mean, he's done nothing wrong, and all of a sudden he had a brief stint there where his assets got frozen, and through association. So it's pretty tough when you're an entrepreneur, you build it all up, you've had some great success, and then all of a sudden overnight, through whatever agenda, those assets get frozen. And that got shown to be a little bit hasty. Their temporary restraining order got thrown out, and yeah, the way they go again. So yeah, I've been really happy with the culture. They're really approachable and really down to earth, and that's the sort of person that I am too. So I guess it resonates with building a business.
Yeah, yeah. And so now the I suppose opportunity that I want to speak the most about during this particular episode is Dream Trips. This has become sort of the lead that IX is going with right now as they relaunched into IX 2.0. And at first, when we couldn't introduce people to the nodes of the debt box and all the awesome projects that they've been doing around the world, and I heard that this travel opportunity is going to be the thing that we can talk about. I wasn't too attracted by that at first. I thought, well, how am I gonna be able to live this out? Like I'm here with 3 and now 4 kids. It's pretty hard to get away. But then I started to hear a little bit more about this idea of transformational travel, and I started to think, like I said just before, about how we've been fighting for freedom, and part of freedom is the freedom to travel. Like that's one of the things that was taken away from us a couple of years ago. We couldn't leave our country. In some cases, we couldn't leave our state. In some cases, if you were like me, and at that time I was living in Western Sydney and I was in one of the notorious local government areas that got locked down, we weren't allowed to travel out of 12 kilometers from where we were.
Wow.
And so, those are the kinds of situations that you think back on and you think, well, travel is actually a real privilege. And now that we're able to do it again, we should try and make the most of it and make it more a part of our culture, I guess. I've heard it spoken about too, like taking on a membership in Dream Trips in the way that you can really invest in your family. And I'm hoping maybe you could address some of that a bit, like how is Dream Trips and the opportunities that it gives you to travel in a way that you're not just going to a place, but you're having a whole experience as a family, invest in your family and create lasting memories.
Yeah, exactly. Like we took the kids to Europe on a 2-week trip a couple of years ago, and they wouldn't remember anything about that. Now they're 8 and 9, and in 2 weeks' time we go to Los Angeles. We take them to Disneyland. We're going to Cancun, Mexico, and they'll remember that forever. Flights aren't cheap at the moment, but the great thing about being part of Dream Trips is, the accommodation is all paid for. Generally speaking, you can get some really great discounts through those memberships. And so, I've always loved to travel. I've probably been a bit more of a homebody last couple of years as well. But once I'm there at a location, like to be able to go to somewhere new and a new culture and experience those things, it's pretty hard to beat. And to bring the kids along as well now, it's a lot of fun. So with Dream Trips, you can kind of niche a trip to this is what I like as well, right? So if you're going to travel in a group, I like to travel with like-minded people. So if you want to, grab 10 families and you want to go away to, maybe Dubai, right? And in Dubai, they've got shopping centers with snow. You can go snow skiing, tobogganing, ice skating in the middle of Dubai. Maybe you do a trip for adults and kids there. For entrepreneurs, we're doing a trip this side of the world. We're looking at Fiji, Bali, Phuket, Vietnam, having motivational speakers there on one day. But you can do anything you want. We've just got a team that's come on in the US that are into pickleball. And so they're following the pickleball championship all around the world and just playing pickleball. Dream Trips have set it all up for them. So they've just catered this whole niche of travel for pickleball people. People going to Vegas.
I don't even know what pickleball is.
It's like a half-court sort of tennis game with like a plastic bat.
Oh, sure.
Fastest growing sport in America at the moment. Yeah. They have like nude pickleball and all sorts of things, Chris.
Oh my gosh.
So it's I think Gary Vee owns a pickleball club, but it's it's really popular over there. But the point is you can niche it to, you can create a dream trip. If we can fill that up with like-minded people that you want to travel with, that's great. Families, individuals, entrepreneurs, baby boomers, whatever. So that's one side, but then the other side is just your kind of everyday average travel. So you want to take the family away for a trip, or you just got individual business trips you got to go on. You can log into your portal, you can book your accommodation, whether it's Airbnb, condo style or hotel style. And you're going to get 25% off, 50, 60, 70% off your accommodation. So it's a travel club like no other in terms of the discounts you can get, because they're going to give you $3 back to every $1 you spend on your membership that you can put towards those discounts. So it's pretty unique. You get a free cruise after being a member for 6 months. So a free cruise for 2 people, 4 nights, 5-star cruise ships. You get 25% back on travel points when you're booking. Your points never expire. It's a really unique membership that is pretty hard to compete with. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And this whole idea of transformational travel, like combining travel and personal and professional development, that's the kind of thing that I think really, really appeals to me as I'm trying to develop a culture of leaders and leaders in discipleship as well. So talk about like I think it's like a magic combination, I guess, combining self-development and travel. So how can going away on a trip to a special place, the whole thing's catered, the whole thing's a pretty special experience, be something that can transform our inner life and the culture around us?
Yeah, I think, you grab your team together, you go into the middle of the city and you get a boardroom and you sit down and you have ideas about the next year. It's pretty inspiring. In fact, you're probably dragging your team along. Or you say, hey, who wants to go to Bali for a week and we're going to talk about 2024? You're probably going to get 100% of people there that are excited. So you create a culture of either staff or team members that want to stay around for the long term. This is an exciting culture to be part of. This is incredible. I feel like I'm being treated like a celebrity. I feel like I'm being listened to. I'm getting lots of different perks in my job or in my team or in my business. And so, it's not a new thing. I remember when my wife, Nicole, was working in travel, they would go to Buenos Aires and have a board meeting, right? Instead of upstairs to level 42 in North Sydney. But that created a culture within the team and within the staff that these perks of travel were really amazing. And so they'd go away and they'd have a lot of fun, but also to, be goal setting and having the vision for the next year. And they'd take other team members and other partners there. So again, you're creating those outer relationships with other, business partners as well. So in what we're doing right now, I see that as being something that's very sticky, something that's very emotional and loyal. And if I'm going to go away on a trip with my team, we've been doing it for years as well, where we would have a Noosa leadership retreat. So I'd take all my leaders away, maybe 30 to 100 people, depending. And it would be in Noosa. And people would, swim, go to the beach. We have some great dinners. We'd go on a boat cruise. But for 2 days, we also sat down and we learned from the very, very, very best speakers in the industry. And I tell you right now, we used to do surveys of the results afterwards. And people would say, I kind of believed in the concept. I kind of believed in the products. I kind of believed in the industry. I kind of believed in the company. After this weekend, I'm putting everything into this. I absolutely love it. And people were with us for 10 years, and so that one weekend changed the whole perspective. You're not going to get that in a boardroom in Sydney. So I'm excited to do, On Fire in Fiji, where we have these motivational speakers in Fiji, but we're out in a catamaran. And so that's what we're putting all together. There's some really incredible training. Like in Cancun, we've got a Navy SEAL there who's a motivational speaker. I'm really looking forward to hearing from him. Some CEOs of DreamTrips and IX, and some really great business guys that are, revolutionary visionaries and, multi-millionaires that you just rub shoulders with, that open the door, whether it's around the pool bar or, in the room during the day. So I'm excited by those transformational travel trips as well. And it'll probably be a combination of that, things I do with my family, maybe like the free cruise we get after 6 months is just me and my wife time. And so that's all important as well. So I think what Dream Trips forces you to do is we work so hard, it's a bit like Groundhog Day sometimes, and you're trying to find that balance as a mum, as a dad, as a business owner, as an employee, and you're grinding and you're grinding and you're grinding, and you're trying to find that balance between, I've got to get to the gym, I've got to do my personal development, I've got to do my side gig, I've got to make sure I'm getting paid, I've got to spend some more time with the kids. And so it forces you to get away, whether that's for your own time to just go and reflect. And sometimes, the guys need a bit of guy time. Sometimes the girls need a bit of guy time. And then there's a time for whole family to go away together, which forces you, like almost like a forced travel savings plan, to get away and go and do those memories, because the memories are what we take with us. And then there's also a time where, you know what, you got to leave the kids with the grandparents and you go away to do a romantic cruise for 4 nights. So it's that combination where you get to choose which way you want to do it, but it forces us to have that downtime, that reflection in an environment that we can come back and be even more productive in what we're doing. And that's all important to put that. If you don't put that time aside in one shape or form, you'll get worn down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
And, your relationship's important, isn't it, mate? Like, if you're not doing those date nights or, the movie nights, or it's what you work on gets stronger. And, sometimes you can be married for 10 years and forget about the date nights, forget about the intimacy, and forget about the trips. And if you can do that in an affordable way, it can replenish a lot of the things that we take for granted sometimes. And with the kids as well. So lots of different ways to do it.
Yeah, no, I like the idea of that it actually forces you to get away a bit, because I even look at my life now, it's gotten a bit more stressful and a bit more overwhelming, and I'm trying to deal with that. But it's nice to know that I have this as an option coming up. Also, I mean, like, my wife and I were able to spend some time together just this past weekend, but it's been a long time since we were able to do that, We can't always organize babysitters and all the rest of it. It's just so refreshing, and you realize how much you miss it. And it's like, we could just take a breath together and be ourselves. And it's like, you kind of feel like you need to get to know her again.
Yeah, well, we don't do too many date nights anymore because we don't really have family up in Queensland. So we do date days. So they're off at school, right? Let's go out for lunch. So that's kind of our Friday routine. Yeah.
Yeah, no, awesome. So I want to talk about how, like, the average Joe can actually take advantage of this and see real savings. Like, the average guy or girl out there who's making, maybe 80 to 100K per year sort of thing. How is this? Because I know people might look at it and they say, well, you're saying that this is better than using booking.com or using, hang on a second, let me just silence that. Using Expedia or booking.com. When they do say, okay, well, now I've got time to do a trip, I'll do it now. And the idea of them paying into something monthly might dissuade them a little bit when they first hear, oh, but you want me to pay a monthly membership. So how is this more advantageous for them?
Yeah, well, whether you're deciding, okay, bang, I'm going on a holiday because I got my tax return, or I got a bonus at the end of the year, or I've been putting money aside in a separate bank account, that's a great way to do it. Understanding too, if you're booking through a booking.com or an Expedia, you are paying retail. They're marking up that trip. They're marking up that accommodation. We're offering accommodation at wholesale prices. So Dream Trips don't make money on their travel. They make money on their memberships. And so you are getting it at wholesale prices. And the other thing too is, Dream Trips are going to pay you 3 to 1. So if you are that sort of person that puts a bit of money aside each month, then wouldn't it be better if Dream Trips gave you $3 to that $1? And so, just with one family holiday, you can get that money back from your whole membership and some. So we might just do a couple of examples if I can share my screen, Chris.
Yeah, go for it.
On here, jump into Dream Trips. And so when you log in, you'll see this first page here, which are all the curated trips. They're literally your dream trips that you can do. You can see my screen there.
Yes, I can. Yep.
And it's fun. It's fun to look through. So I was just looking through here the other day. This Cancun one here. I think I've got to log back in. This Cancun one here is the one I'm going on in 2 weeks' time. And so it's fully catered. We've got every trip on a dream trip. You get picked up from the airport, a sign that says, hey, Chris, this is for you. You get taken to your hotel room. There's always a welcome party with the other people that are there. You got a concierge for the whole time that you're traveling. You get all your meals, all your food done for, your excursions done for. What else is there? We're going on this tour in Cancun that it just looks absolutely amazing. So everything's included. You can never beat the price on these dream trips. I saw one in here the other day to the Maldives. This is a new one that's just come up. That one looks pretty cool. But yeah, for the everyday average person, whether you're going on that business trip, whether you're just going locally, if you click on here to hotels, what's it doing?
It's always when you're recording that the page is going to be unresponsive, isn't it?
Just about guarantee it, yeah. Or you'll get some pop-up or malware or...
Yeah.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Hopefully that's good. Okay, we'll try that. So if you come up here to hotels, I'm just going to click on this hotel section on the back office here and show Chris a few examples here. And I'll do one that I looked at the other day, and it all varies from day to day depending on what's available. But I love Bali, right? And back when I was a young guy, you'd go to Kuta and you'd have such good find or Seminyak. These days, I want to get out of all that, and go a little bit further out to Ubud or somewhere nice and quiet. Let's say I went to Bali. Everyone in Australia goes to Bali in June, July. So let's say I went from the 4th to the 18th. So I'm going to go for 2 weeks. Click on continue, and it's going to bring up, Bali's a big place, lots of accommodation options now, but it's going to scan for the best savings that I can find. And so with just one of these family holidays, I've got my membership back, and I feel like I've made money going on a holiday, right? Because they're going to give me 3 to 1. And your typical membership's around $130 a month. If you want to get the priority one, where you get airport lounges all around the world and your 24/7 concierge, you're looking at maybe around $185 per month. So you're going to get back 555 travel dollars every month. It's just going to accumulate. They never expire. And the more travel dollars that you have, then, and you can see here, like I had 5,390 the other day. We booked a condo in LA to stay, so it took some travel dollars off, but then it's put 25% back on. It's hard to use them up. It's really exciting. So there's one here, K Club in Ubud, with what we were talking about. And so you can see here that for 14 nights, if I was going to book this with the family, it's just a miraculous resort. Like it just looks incredible. It's normally like $1,500 a night. That's if you're getting it on your Expedia, about as cheap as you can get it. For the Dream Trips price, you're going to be paying around $1,189 per night. So over that 14 nights, I would have saved $5,343 for the 2 weeks. So if you do the maths, $130 a month, you're probably looking around $1,500 a year. To $185, you might be looking around $2,200 a year in your membership. But on that one trip, I've just saved $5,300. And so everything above that is just gravy, it's really good. Even this one, Hanging Gardens, is beautiful as well. 5-star resort, 5,300. You're getting it for $509 per night. I'm not sure what this one is, but it's another 5-star one here that we're looking at. It says 52% savings. We're getting it for $258 per night, whereas on Expedia you're looking at $548 per night. So 52% saving over $4,000 for the 2 weeks. So there's lots of incredible savings there. So if you're just going on this trip, you go, what, I'm just going to put 10 grand aside. So that's going to cover our accommodation. That's going to cover our flights. That's great and everything, but you could be paying half of that, right? You could be getting all your membership back with your payment plan that's into Dream Trips, so to speak. But, even if I just wanted to put in, say, Melbourne, I've got to duck off, go do a quick Dream Trips presentation is Melbourne. So I'm going to put in Melbourne here, guys, into the back office. I'm just going to put in as if I've got to go real soon. So let's say I'm just going January 10th, and I'm just going to come back, say 3 nights, something like that. Yeah. So January 10th, we'll come back on the Saturday, and we'll do a search there. So pretty much anywhere in the world where you put this in, whether it's local, whether it's international, whether it's your traditional holiday locations, you're going to find accommodation and you're never going to beat the price. So we just log in here to Melbourne. There's an apartment here. It's a bit more Airbnb style, which is kind of like how I like to stay in Prahran. We've got a 31% savings on this place here. So competitors price, $548 a night. our price $376. So that's somewhere I would stay. 31% saving $518 just for those 3 nights.
Yeah.
Like if I'm doing a trip a month or a trip a quarter, I'm getting my money back and some on that membership if you actually crunch the numbers on it. Lifestyle apartments, the Park Royal, which is 4.5 star, we got a 36% saving. Try and find one that's sort of everybody knows about. Pan Pacific's pretty well known, 5-star, competitor price $203 a night, our price $145, 28% saving. We're saving $174 over 3 nights. The Ritz-Carlton, we're saving $173 over 3 nights. So whether it's you're ducking off for a business trip, whether it's a quick family trip to Gold Coast, whether you're going to Bali, Dubai, there is some incredible savings there. So when we talk about, why would you do the membership? It is like any other membership. So, if you're paying $100 a month to go to the gym because you're trying to lose 10 kilos and you haven't been to the gym in 3 months, that gym membership really is a bit of a waste of money. You're not getting value from that. If you're paying a Netflix membership and you haven't turned on the TV in 6 months, which might be a good thing, but you're not getting value on that Netflix membership, you may as well cancel it. This is no different. It's a travel membership. The great thing is, though, your points never expire. And so whilst that 3 months you haven't gone to the gym might be a little bit of a wasted 3 months, in here, your points just keep on accumulating. So it's almost like someone's going to the gym and working out for you. And then you go and book your holiday whenever that suits you. They never expire. They just keep on growing. The more they grow, the more the savings that you get. So, but the reality is on this membership, the more you travel, the more value you will get from this membership as well.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, some really, really beautiful venues there. And you touched on this a bit with how there are trips being curated for very niche and specific wants and desires among members, groups of people getting together, with the pickleball and all that. I foresee this is a great option for pilgrimage.
Absolutely.
Not that we can go to the Holy Land right now, not that we can go to Israel, but maybe sometime in the future. But then as Catholics, there are many sites where saints lived and where, great miracles happen, where people are going on pilgrimage every year. I know people who go on pilgrimage a couple of times a year, and they're going to Europe, lots of different places around Europe, some in the Middle East, and some in other parts of the world too. So that's the direction that I'd like to go down. I'm still going to use it anyway, in places around Australia and close to Australia, I guess too. But I get excited by the prospect of being able to work up to a pilgrimage and having a group of people around me who want to do that too, and just having a really full experience. I think I've done lots of travel to the US. Like, I was born in South Africa, I live in Australia, but the country that I've traveled to the most other than those 2 places is the US. And I have so many bad memories of travel. Like, I have so many bad memories of having flights delayed and like sleeping on airport floors and feeling like rubbish after 40 hours without a shower and that kind of thing. I really like the idea now that I'm a bit older of not having to go through that, and then that kind of marks your whole trip. Like, you just get there and you're recovering from your jet lag, and then by the time you've recovered from it, you're thinking about leaving again.
Yeah, that's right. And I don't know whether you've ever rocked up in places like pretty much any city in India, Manila, Los Angeles, and then trying to get an Uber or a taxi. It's not a straightforward process, and it can be a nightmare. So to have someone sitting there with a sign with your name, it's like, oh, this is easy. I don't have to worry about that. They grab your bags, they take it for you, put you in a nice car, straight to the hotel, set everything up for you, welcome drinks. Like, it's a good way to. It's just a lot of headaches that are gone. And then if you're in a new city and you're not sure about anything, just you WhatsApp your concierge or you ring them up, and anything you need, they're going to go get that for you. And then you pick and choose. Like, if they've got all these curated tours or trips, you go on them all with your like-minded people, or you just sit by the pool all day. You kind of get that choice as well. Or, put your own together and get the discount. So it's if you're going to travel, in my opinion, and looking at everything out there and doing, I've traveled the globe. This is the only company that I want to be part of. And this is the way I am a bit of a snobby, grumpy traveler these days. I'm 45. So you will not find me sitting in the middle row of an airplane. You will not find me getting a taxi from an airport. I do like the streamline finer things, which is what makes, travel great when you haven't slept on a plane for 13 hours. You got two kids with you, you want it streamlined. And these guys do it better than anyone. It's like traveling like a celebrity. Once you've done a dream trip, you won't want to travel any other way.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. I just got this particular horrible memory of the last time I was in the States. I was flying back from Pittsburgh, but my flight got delayed. And then we flew. So then they gave us a different connecting flight because we were going to go back to LA and then back to Brisbane or Sydney. And that one got cancelled. So then there was a different flight to Newark, New Jersey. And then my next flight to LA wasn't going to leave again for the next day. And so it ended up being like 4 o'clock in the morning. And I was waiting outside in the cold for a taxi for like half an hour and then taken to a motel, which absolutely reeked of alcohol and cigarettes. It was the worst. I was like, I'm never coming back here again. If it's like this.
Yeah. Travel can be good and it can be horrific.
Yeah. So look, that sounds amazing. I think we've got Dream Trips covered pretty well there, and I'll have lots of information in the show notes that I can share with people, and continue following me on social media for that. But I'm wondering, Aaron, if you could go through a little bit more of what IX has to offer, because what I think is awesome as a side hustle is that it's not just this. There are a bunch of other things which are in and of themselves worth the monthly membership.
Yeah, the way I look at IX is kind of like a whole 25 years in the industry coming together all in one spot. So I look at it as an entrepreneurial global lifestyle membership, really. It's like a club where pretty much no matter what business you're in, you need IX products. So, like the Ronin card, for example, and I love the name of Ronin. If you Google that, it's like a Japanese samurai without a master. So talking about freedom, right? And that's what this card allows you to do. Like I can't buy cryptocurrencies through the Commonwealth Bank. It's literally impossible. So this Ronin card allows me to put my fiat currency onto it or my cryptocurrency onto it, go to the IGA and buy groceries, or load it up, buy my crypto. So it's that on-ramp and off-ramp of crypto and fiat merging together, which really is a massive solution to so many people out there now that are struggling to get their banks to release funds or exchanges, and just making a lot of a simpler process. A lot of people aren't that familiar with sending crypto back and forth and wallets and so forth. So that's a really incredible product, accepted wherever Visa card is accepted. So it's a partnership with Visa. Love that product. So I've just ordered the gold card. You got a few different options, digital, standard, metal card, or the 24 karat gold card. So that's a great product. Then we've got the Dream Trips, obviously. They've got an incredible track record over the last 3.5 years with trading education. So if it is something that you wanted to learn to trade Forex or trade crypto or indices, whatever it might be, the education that they teach in regards to the discipline and consistency you need to be a trader is really incredible at IX Global as well. They've got personal development there. They've got an exclusive club. They've got lots of different really incredible digital products that are coming to the market, and some that are there already. So, whether you're an entrepreneur in other business, you need that Ronin card, most likely. You need Dream Trips for sure, whether you're going to build the business out or not. You need that as a family function, or just an entrepreneurial function, or just use it for personal good. But it's products that people really do need, all in that one, lifestyle membership.
Yeah, 100%. And these are all just benefits of being a customer. And I know some people are kind of allergic to the phrase network marketing, but can you also just briefly touch on the ways that you can get paid if you are just inviting people to use these awesome opportunities?
Yeah, well, network marketer or an Instagram influencer doesn't matter, right? It's just a concept in people's minds sometimes that, influencers seem sexy and cool and new. Network marketers, my grandpa in Amway, but it's a lack of information and education on updating that. And so an influencer, I would rather be a network marketer because I'm an influencer anyway. I'm advertising a product or a service. I've got a following, I've got an email list, whatever it might be. I'm advertising as an influencer or a network marketer, exactly the same. And if someone clicks my link, I'm going to get paid for that. An affiliate program, we all understand that. You recommend a tonic water, and on Instagram, they click your link, they buy it, you get a few dollars in commissions. And so you get paid that way. And pretty much influencers, they've always got to be trading that time for money, always promoting, always the one person to make the money. And the great thing that influencers can get are sponsorships, and they get paid to post things rather than just to click and a purchase. So there are other avenues for them, but it's always that one person. What I love about network marketing is it can be so leveraged in that the other ways that we get paid is it's my efforts, but it's also my team's efforts. So it's like an Instagram supermodel influencer. She's doing all her, whatever bathing line or sportswear line, but then all of a sudden she recruits 1,000 other influencers all around the world to also advertise the same product, and everything that they sell, she gets paid on, but they don't get that. We do. And so, I get paid on a team of thousands of people all around the world that are also loving the Ronin card, that are also loving the Dream Trips. And every time their membership goes through, every time a new person comes on board, every time a Ronin card gets purchased or a promotional pack, I'm getting commissions on 100 persons' efforts, 1,000 persons' efforts, 100,000 customers around the world that are all loving the product and talking about it. And so I might put in some big effort for 1 or 2 or 3 years, but then my income is greatly leveraged, is greatly residual, while the influencer's still taking their pictures by the beach. And you can't have a good body forever, right? So yeah, I love network marketing. I kind of guess the new age of network marketing, which is more about attraction marketing, social media, rather than probably the old perception of cold calling. And it really was a hassle back in the day, because you kind of had to. You couldn't just drip on someone on social media. You had to call them up every day and update them, and people will get a bit sick of that. So they're the main ways we get paid. You get paid on your full sales commissions, whether that's just your work or your whole team, and the company pays you 10, 15, or 20% of that sales volume every single week. So it is an exciting way to earn. It's been my full-time income since 2013. And I love the industry. It's given us all the freedom. We put out a lot of that money into real estate, which has then given us more freedom. I think if you take the time to understand the business model and educate yourself on the model, it's very hard to beat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, that's exciting stuff, Aaron. And I think that answers the question, if people are in a 9-to-5 and they want to start building a side hustle, just some residual income, just using a couple of hours a day, really, either side of work, maybe put another couple of hours aside during the weekend. Then you can start to rank up and that sort of thing as well. I like it because you can set yourself measurable goals, and you can kind of measure out the amount of work that you need to put in before you get to that place. And if you just be a good guy about it, like don't be an ass to people. just share out of generosity of like, okay, find something that's going to give people real value in their lives. And I think all these things do. And just keep sharing with them. And if you're having a conversation and they say no, then say, okay, fine, leave them alone. But otherwise, for those who are still open, keep talking. And some people just want to listen and follow your journey. And like, I think when I just like look at people who look at my Instagram stories or Facebook stories, there's a lot of people just watching.
Yeah.
And they're watching every day, which I'm quite intrigued by, but the more you go, the more people kind of feel comfortable with asking you and see you as a trustworthy source in the space, I think.
Yeah. So see, most people are waiting for you to quit. Most people are waiting for you to change products, change companies. Most people are waiting for you to stop being consistent with it. And they go, I knew he wouldn't last. I knew he'd change to something else. But when you've been doing it for 3 months, and then it's 6 months, and it's 12 months, then it's 2 years, they're like, all right, okay, Chris, this Dream Trips thing does look pretty good. And you're exactly right. People are watching all the time. And if you're like bold and confident, and I'm doing this with or without you, and you've been doing it consistently, eventually that attraction marketing really kicks in and people start reaching out. But yeah, very few people see it through consistently enough to get that traction.
Yeah, 100%. Well, Aaron, it's been an absolute privilege and a blessing, really, to have you on the podcast. I really appreciate you making the time. I've got all the information in the show notes. There is also a free group on Facebook for Dream Trips. So if you're interested just in dipping your toe in the water and finding out more information about it, I can happily share those links with you. One final thing that I also wanted to touch on is that the fact that IX now has the X Life platform, which is also free and probably the best way for people to get the whole picture of what they can be involved in, either as a customer or as an active sort of business builder. I don't know if you want to say anything else about X Life, Aaron.
Yeah, it is a great way just to come in for free. So you can literally click on a link. Chris can give you a link. You come in, fill in your details, nothing to pay, check everything else. And so it's a great way to understand the culture. Is it something you're going to get involved in or not? You can take a sneak peek at the trading, take a sneak peek at the dream trips, just understand what it's all about, ask questions. You can post in there, a bit like a Facebook group, ask questions, get a bit of a feel for the culture and who else is in there. But yeah, it is a great way. It's like entering a group on Facebook to get a sneak peek and get your questions answered without any big commitment just yet. So X Life is one of the social media platforms that IX has where you do want to spend time scrolling, unlike most social media platforms, which may be a bit of a waste of time. So yeah, X Life is really cool. It's a great concept that is refreshing to the industry, actually.
Great. Hey, well, thanks again for your time, Aaron. God bless you and
Thanks,
your
Chris.
family.
Great to be here. You bet.
Stay safe on your trip to Cancun. Enjoy yourself, and I'm sure we'll hear back from you soon.
Yes, you will, and you'll see lots of pictures posted and videos, I'm sure. And yeah, I'll have some exciting news to share when we get back.
Fantastic. Cool, mate. Well, all the best. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We will see you on the next episode. Cheers.
Cheers.